Hello and welcome to our weekly leadership podcast. If I had to ask you the question, what is the church? You would probably lean on some biblical metaphors and say, well, it's like a family, it's like a bride, it's like an army, it's like a building. And you'd be describing Jesus, head of his church, the people loving him, loving each other, exploring the purposes of the kingdom. And that would be very impressive. But if I had asked you that question 2 months ago, you might have been tempted to make quite a bit of the Sunday gathering, the meeting, the sense of togetherness, the sense of faith, which is not wrong. It's just only a very small part of what the church actually is. And, now that we're in COVID-19 and this lockdown scenario, Sundays have carried on in a different form, but the reach has been phenomenal. I mean, tens of thousands of people are watching church on a Sunday. But that's what it is, watching church. Church is far more than watching. It's far more than clicking on a button. It's sharing your life. And so what I would like to do is take you back to the method of Jesus. When Jesus made disciples, he got them in this group of 12 and he said, come share your life with me, come walk with me, come live with me. He did have massive meetings from time to time, but in essence, his building block was a group of 12. And then he said to those 12, go and make disciples. The definition of a disciple is someone who is making disciples. The definition of a disciple is someone making disciples in groups of a handful of people around them sharing their life together. And so my challenge to you today is, if you're a home group leader right now, if you're a connect group leader right now, the mandate Jesus gave the disciples was go and make other disciples. So don't stop with your 12. Look at your group and see who is ready now to take that step of making disciples. And if you've had this message forwarded to you, it's because somebody believes that you're ready to do that. Maybe you've led groups before. I personally have led many, many groups before. Right now, I'm not leading a connect group. And that's about to change in the next 48 hours. And so my goal of this leadership podcast is to get you started. And I'm restarting at grassroots level again. I'm going to get some people who are strangers to me right now, and I'm going to bring them around me and make a discipleship group, a connect group is what we call it. And so these are the steps that I'm going to take, and I suggest that if you're a connect group leader, look for someone who can do what I am going to do, because it's biblical. Paul said to Timothy in 2 Timothy 2:2, entrust to reliable men who are able to teach what you're hearing me say. And so pick reliable men or women who are able to communicate their faith. That's what that word teaching means. And let them get on with it. So this is what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to pray and say, Lord, who is it that I should have in my connect group? And I suggest you do the same. God's put people in your life that are not connected, that are exploring faith, that maybe are new Christians, that maybe are Christians that just haven't got a circle of support around them. Pray, ask God to show you. And then ask the elders at your site or your connect group leader for other names of people that you could contact. Once you've got a list of names, then you need to decide what method of connect group you're going to have. Is it going to be a Zoom meeting, which requires a bit of data and requires everyone to download the Zoom app, and it's very fun and it's very interactive. You can see each other and you can talk to each other, and you can have lots of fun with your backgrounds. And if you're pretty much limited to 40 minutes unless you go and buy the full package, but that'll work. Another method that people are using these days is a WhatsApp connect group. So you create a WhatsApp group and you say, on a certain night, certain time, we're going to meet. So once you've decided the type of group you're going to have, then you're going to pick your time. I'm suggesting certainly now during phase 4 is after 8 o'clock is a great time because no one's going anywhere and there's curfew, they can't go anywhere. And so I think I'm going to pick 8 o'clock on a particular night and go from 8 till about 8:45. It'll probably change as the lockdown eases. Once you've set the time, then you need to subscribe to our leadership blog, which you are seeing right now. But that comes out every single week, and it comes out with a leadership video like this. In addition, it comes out with questions that you cover during your Connect group. Remember Paul said to Timothy in 2 Timothy 2:2, entrust to reliable men who are able to teach what you hear me say. Don't just go on any fanciful mountain. What we as a church are busy going through, we put questions together that you can process with people. And so once you're on that leadership vlog and you're getting the questions and you've picked your night and you have your names, well, then it comes time to ask people and invite them to come and join you. And you'll be amazed. I mean, what's the worst they can say? No, sorry, done that, been there. And they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the idea of being discipled in a group if they say no. And then give it a go. And send a text, send a voice note. I'll probably send voice notes or actually make a phone call. But I know if you're a young guy, you're probably going to send a digital message somehow. And then running up to the night that you begin, pray and intercede and ask God to come and take over. And then let's just say you're doing the WhatsApp one. Well, you touch base with everybody, and then the questions will be like, get to know you questions, and then there will be, and so the guys just answer back. But what you're doing is you're creating links, you're creating bridges into people's lives so that after lockdown, you can move this into your lounge, go into one of their lounges, or carry on in this form for a season. But the point of the body of Christ is that it is connected. The body of Christ is not a watching party. It's not come, click a button, watch other people do it. It's everybody getting involved. And so here's my challenge to you. If you're a leader, pick somebody to start a new group. And I think a group can be somewhere between 4 and 8 people. It doesn't need to be a massive group. And if you feel that you are mature enough in your walk to be able to pray for somebody and to be able to invite somebody to read the Bible with you, take the plunge. Get started. Let's do this thing.